Weakness makes us strength. 2 Corinthians 12:10. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities, for when I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians 12:10 is a verse from the New Testament that is often quoted to illustrate the paradoxical nature of Christian faith. In this verse, the Apostle Paul speaks about his willingness to endure various forms of suffering and persecution for the sake of Christ. He says that despite these challenges, he is content because he knows that when he is weak, he is actually strong. To understand the context of this verse, it's helpful to know that Paul was writing to the Corinthian church in response to some critics who were questioning his authority and his apostleship. In the preceding verses, Paul recounts a mystical experience in which he was caught up to the third heaven and heard things that cannot be expressed in words. He goes on to say that because of this experience, he was given a thorn in the flesh to keep him humble, and he asked God 3 times to remove it. But God replied that his grace was sufficient for Paul, and that his power was made perfect in weakness. So, when Paul says that he is content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities, he is saying that he is willing to endure these things for the sake of Christ, because he knows that in his weakness, God's power is made perfect. He is not seeking to glorify himself or to demonstrate his own strength, but rather to demonstrate the power of Christ at work in his life. The phrase "when I am weak, then I am strong" has become a popular Christian saying because it captures the paradoxical nature of faith. It reminds us that true strength is not found in our own abilities or accomplishments, but in our reliance on God and our willingness to submit to His will even when it leads us through difficult times. By embracing our weaknesses and trusting in God's strength, we can find contentment and peace even in the midst of trials and tribulations.